gross so far.
Welcome to the Limerick Board of Select Persons meeting for November 25th, 2024. Please join us for the flag salute. I'll look for a motion to approve the November 18th meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second?
So moved.
Is there a discussion? All in favor? All in favor? Okay.
Abstain.
And as far as the warrants, we have just the payroll this week. We have a problem with the printer at this point, so we'll get we'll come during the week and, sign the warrants as we're available. So is there a motion to accept the payroll warrants?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Would someone read the announcements, please?
Yes. The transfer station is now on winter hours, which are Wednesday and Sunday from 11 to 4, and Saturday from 9 to 4. The municipal building will be closing on Wednesday the 27th at 12 p.m. and will be closed Thursday the 28th and Friday the 29th for the holiday. The Select Board will meet on Monday, December 2nd at 7 p.m. The Planning Board will meet on Wednesday, December 4th at 7 p.m. The Budget Committee will meet on Thursday, December 5th at 7 p.m. to discuss Select Board templates. The Appeals Board has 2 vacant seats to fill. Please reach out to the Select Board admin if interested at 793-4475. As a reminder, if you're speaking at any meeting, please go to the microphone so everyone will be able to hear. As part of the hearing and citizens policy, no personal attacks on any individual or firm, including town employees, town officials, or members of the public. Please direct concerns about individual employees or town officials to the chairman of the Board of Select Persons outside the public meeting. Please stay current with town information by visiting www.limerickme.org. And just wanted to go over the available elected positions for the town of Limerick for the March 14th, 2025 meeting. Nomination papers will be available beginning Friday, December 13th, 2024, and they must be turned into the town's clerk's office no later than 4:30 p.m. on Monday, January 13th, 2025. There is 2 Select Board 3-year terms, a road commissioner for 2-year, director of RSU 57 for a 3-year term, trustee of the Limerick Sewerage District, 3-year term, trustee of the Limerick Water District, a 3-year term, planning board member, 3-year term, 2 planning board members for 3-year terms, 2 library trustees for 3-year terms, and 2 budget committee members for 3-year terms. And that is all I have.
Thank you. For department reports, do we have some input from Casey regarding our town-owned property?
Thank you for having me. We actually had a pretty busy week this week, so very exciting news. I think we sold 4 or 5 lots last week. Our total in gross sales, I think, is $372,000 so far. Our properties that are under contract, map 39, lot 105, Dog Road. Stan is currently working on finding heirs of the Consolidated Construction Company through court records, so that we may give them proper notice, so that we can have a proper foreclosure on the correct party. Map 39, lot 106, Dog Road, has met all of their obligations and are closing on December 13th. Map 38, lot 106, Raptor Ridge, still having a hard time with their title company, and have requested an additional extension to December 31st. They're currently scheduled on December 5th. I would recommend waiting until next week's meeting before extending any further. Map 12 Range E Road is scheduled to close December 31st. And 140 Parsons Field Road, the listing has been withdrawn, and Stan is working on notices for the DHS liens to take care of those. I missed one, so you'll see my crappy handwriting. The one we put under last week, map 42, lot 288, is closing this week. And I have the deed and closing disclosure for that property. Currently on the market with no offers. We only had one property with no offers this week, which is map 41, lot 231 on Arrowhead Lane. And we've received offers on all of the other listings that we had. Starting with lot 290 Arrowhead Lane, which is a double lot, and it runs uphill. This is the offer that I thought was coming last week, but they didn't turn the completed package in, and they've turned it again in for this week. Offer number one was $17,000 with a deposit of $500. This is a fairly unusual offer, subject to numerous inspections, with a very long inspection date of 66 business days and a closing date of March 12th. Offer two is a price of $25,000, which is our asking price, a deposit of $1,000, not subject to inspections, is a cash offer, subject to proof of funds will be received within 3 business days, and a closing date of December 20th. I would recommend accepting offer 2. Would the board like to vote?
I make a motion, we accept offer 2 for map 41, lot 290. Offer 2 for map 41, lot 290.
Second.
Discussion further? All in favor? Okay.
Map 42, lot 131, Nob Hill Road. These are among some of the better lots that we had, and we received 3 offers on each of the Nob Hill Road lots. In order of receipt, offer 1, $20,000 with a $500 deposit, no inspections, cash and proof of funds was provided with the offer, and a closing date of December 6th. Offer number 2 was for $5,000 with a $500 deposit, no inspections, a cash proof of funds were provided, and a closing date of December 13th. Offer number 3 was an over asking price offer of $35,000 with a $1,000 deposit, no inspection contingency, it's cash with a proof of fund provided within 3 days, and a closing date of December 20th. I would recommend accepting offer 3.
I make a motion that we accept offer 3 for map 42, lot 131 on Nob Hill Road.
Okay, so we have discussion? All in favor? Discussion?
Map 42, lot 230, Nob Hill Road, which is across the street from the one we just discussed. I received 3 offers. In order of receipt, offer number 1 was $20,000 with a $500 deposit, no inspections, cash, proof of funds provided, closing date of December 6th. Offer number 2 was $5,000, $500 deposit with no inspections. Is a cash offer with proof of funds provided, and a closing date of December 13th. Offer number 3 was for $35,000 with a $1,000 deposit, no inspection contingency, a cash offer with proof of funds provided within 3 days, and a closing date of December 20th. I would recommend accepting offer number 3.
I make a motion to accept offer 3 for map 42, lot 230, Nob Hill Road.
Discussion? All in favor?
Our last lot is map 42, 297 Claymore Terrace. This is a small lot. Our current listing price is $20,000. We've received one offer with a price of $15,000, a $1,000 deposit, no inspections, with cash offer, proof of funds provided within 2 business days, and a closing date of December 20th. I would recommend accepting this offer. It is the only offer that we've received in this property during the time it's been listed and is a reasonable price.
Make a motion to accept the only offer for map 42, lot 297. Only offer for map 42, lot 297.
Okay, discussion? All in favor?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Are there any questions?
Okay, moving on to old business. Just received an update on the town-owned properties. Since we have no payables warrants this week, we don't have any information regarding legal accounts. And on the cemetery mowing and the cemetery veterans committee, there's nothing new this week. The shelter survey, any update, Katie?
Nothing new this week.
Okay, and squad truck, John, any update?
The squad truck has been listed with, on a site called GovDeals, GovDeals.com. It should be up and live on Wednesday. At the same time next week, we will put an ad in the shopping guide, notifying that it is for sale, and anybody that is interested in it locally will have to go there to bid on it. It will be on there for 30 days. We put a minimum bid price of $7,500 on it. It's a national site that people go on from all over. It's, there is no cost to us to put it on the site. Whoever buys it pays a fee to the site. And when it gets purchased, they pay through GovDeals, and GovDeals will direct deposit the money into our account when and if it sells.
Thank you. Update on the Microsoft Exchange email. Should happen in December, and modem waves has been notified to, once we get closer to the time frame. Budget 2025 update review. It says go over updated assessment budget. Review, last year's budget was $58,493. This year's budget is $70,275. The lion's share of that increase has to do with associate website services. And also a small increase for tax maps, office supplies. Payroll for 17 hours per week for 32 weeks at $23 per hour.
Has that changed, the hours or the rate? Has that changed, the hours or the rate?
So last year, Dottie's pay hasn't been accurate with assessing. It's been lower than code. And we talked last year that we would fix that, so we would make them both the same, because she splits her hours between the two, and we hadn't done that. So there was an increase in this one, as I think where it was stood was like at $21, but when she asked me, she was right, because we did talk about it last year, and it makes sense, I mean, that we would split the same pay for the two positions. If you have your second page came directly from O'Donnell's. We reached out to them about the budget, and they're proposing the rate increases on those things. Those are all things that should be on there. I know we talked about what online revisions and all those were, but they are supposed to all be in this template. But there was a significant increase in office supplies, because mainly their ink for their map printer is like, we buy them all, it's just over $1,000 for their ink. So we figured if we had to buy it twice, it's like $2,000, and then it's a little bit extra.
So O'Donnell has been holding the same price for 3 years.
Yep.
3 years. On the work that they've done. So their increase of $7,000 overall, is the first one in 3 years.
We'll need a motion to accept this to put on the budget for March 2025, and then have a second so we can discuss it if there's.
I make a motion we accept the assessing budget as presented for 2025 and recommend a yes vote.
Second.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor? Okay, and as far as recommendations by the Building Advisory Committee, I think last week, we wanted to see what the unassigned budget would be to make sure we were able to cover that. And that's another issue where we're not able to get access to printing reports, so we don't have that number this week. So we should put that off again one more week. For professional landscaping for the new buildings.
Increase in this budget as well, and maybe there's some room. So we originally had 4 times a season. We added 4 times more throughout the year, where the committee let us know. And I think Jackson ended up doing 3 extra times. So I've got 8 in there, and then we added the Moore and Grange Hall to that as well. So that has upped it from 2024, 2025s as well.
Okay, again, we'll need a motion to accept and a second before we can have further discussion.
Changes to the mowing contract as presented.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you. Okay, update on electrical standard rates. I've been looking at the proposal that we received from the last vendor we had doing this, and what I've noticed is there are some rates that are close to what the standard offer is, and that they would extend out. One of them is a 3-year offer, 36-month offer at 10.916 cents per kilowatt hour. Our current standard rate after they've made an adjustment is 10.61. So I think if we were to go with the 36-month is what I was looking at for the 10.9, it's a little bit more than the standard offer, but what that does, it locks us into that for 3 years. When we had a contract previously, we had a long-term contract, and then as CMP rates went up, we were still below the standard offer as the rates increased. So this would be, and which they normally do. So I think the board authorized me to negotiate the best deal we could for, for those rates going forward. So that's what I'm going to discuss with them, if that rate is still good, because they do change daily, based on, things that happen in the industry. That's what I'm leaning toward, is going with the one that's a little bit more than the standard offer, but it would lock us in for 3 years, so when the standard offer increases, we'd be covered. So that's my thoughts on the process at this point. Any comments or questions? Okay, well, that being, the next item is discussion on ARPA funds. Anything new on that, John?
No, if anybody, I did speak to, Vinnie, he had some requests, for the fire department, that we may run through there. I know that there is still some requests, for the water project to possibly run through there. So I think we'll take a look at the total that's available, and next week have some options, and look to have a special town meeting to, not make the purchases, but commit the funds. There's a couple of things that Vinnie, he'd like his to be a little more broad, because he is looking at some grants for 2 or 3 items. He is hopeful that he'll receive maybe 1 or 2 of the grants, but not all 3. So I think he would like his potential use of the funds to be kind of broad, based on a grant that he might receive. So we have to look how we would word that, and make it so he can spend the money in 2025 to the best way possible for the department.
No other departments have come up with anything?
Not that I have heard from.
Okay. All right, well, there is no new business on the agenda, so We'll go into the hearing of citizens. The hearing of citizens.
Steve McLean. First of all, I'd like to get a motion from the select people that we have a padded chair over here.
Just for you.
You guys, no, you're all in padded chairs. I mean, if you have somebody come up here, they ought to be
I think we
comfortable.
should be in padded cells sometimes.
Well, that padded cell, yeah, that may go over. Okay, thank you. All right. On a serious note, with the passing of Sonny LePage, some recognition is due for Sonny, okay? You know, not only was he a businessman, but in all the years at the fire department, he did everything possible to save the taxpayers, the town, a lot of money. Okay, the program we have with the ambulance, where the ambulance money goes towards an ambulance, did buy us a fire truck, all right? It was solely Sonny having that. As a businessman, he thought, well, we could do this, and we all know how profitable that's been, because the taxpayers have not bought an ambulance probably in 12 or more years. And the way it's set up, we really shouldn't have to, saving the taxpayers a lot of money. The other thing, you know, was mentioned, we know he's selectman, he was chief, he was a member of the fire department, really, starting when he was a junior in the 70s, the 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, he got done as chief. But after he got done as chief, the 2 years after that, when Michael McLean was chief, Sonny came back with his expertise of finance and helped Michael for those 2 years with all the financial aspects of the fire department, which is a great asset. You know, Sonny never said, I'm done. You know, he'd get frustrated, but he was always there when somebody needed him, right? I personally know in the last 25 years, many times, you know, at midnight, later than that, I'd get a call and it'd say, hey, can you come help? We gotta go do this or do that, right? So we've kind of lost all that from the older people. Some of the things that people didn't know is that Sonny was part of the Business Park Committee when that started. He was part of the Limerick Development Corporation. Okay, so there's all these things that got involved. And I think some of the younger people around town that are thinking about getting into things should get involved with things. All right, so a lot of the older guys now are older, but they did multiple things, and there was nothing wrong with it. They were interested in the well-being of the town, okay? He didn't profit from what he did. So I think some kiddos ought to be out, and, you know, the wake visiting hours, I think, at St. Matthew's from 4 to 6 on Friday night, and then Saturday is the funeral at St. Matthew's. So I think as a whole, as a town, we owe, you know, owe a lot to what he's done for the town. A lot of, like I said, a lot of stuff was done on the quiet. He served on that board there for 2 years. He was on the appeals board with us, so, you know, heavily involved in that. So, with that, motion to adjourn.
I think we should definitely, certainly, there's no question, I think we need to find something, whatever it might be, special to do in Sonny's name.
Absolutely.
You know, it's funny, as I was fortunate enough to serve with him on this board for a while, and got to know him. He always had the best interest of the town in mind. You know, his whole life was spent doing something. He was never not on the fire department or board, the appeals board. So we ought to, I've got some thoughts in mind that we can discuss moving along that we could do in honor of him. But
You know what I mean? It's, like I said,
Yeah.
it's an end of an era.
yeah,
Okay,
and
it's
it's,
certainly in this town. Everybody knew when there was a problem, you went up to the gas station, okay? I mean, you know, one kind of interesting thing is when we bought the tanker, we thought it was gonna be a little bit different, and it come in, he called me up, said he'd come up and look at it, and the side of the tanker's undercoated. Well, the back was undercoated. Well, how the hell you put a name on over undercoat, you know? So he took it over there, sanded it all down, the back of that tanker smooth, so we could get Limerick on it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of little things. When we bought trucks, he made an early first payment, so we saved interest when we bought the fire trucks. And we've been fortunate lately, you know, with the money coming in on the rescue, which was beyond anyone's dream that we ever had, that money would come. But we've had some arguments with select boards in the past. They wanted to take all that money, and, you know, that's fine. But then we'd have to ask the taxpayers every 5, 6 years for a large amount of money. Okay, so he thought, well, you know what? That money's coming in, let's keep it for that purpose. So, not too many other towns do that, but when they have to go before the townspeople to raise now an ambulance is pushing $300,000, probably a little bit more. A fire truck's $500,000-$600,000. So, yeah, we got to keep back in mind of what he started and not let it go by the wayside. But yeah, I think there's something in town would absolutely be, you know.
Only the greatest people can be known as one name. And
Yep.
when you mentioned Sonny and Limerick, he was the only one. Everybody
It
knew him.
was. I mean, there's a lot, like I said, there was a lot of little things that went on that wasn't publicized. You know what I mean? Preventive things and everything else, and so, anyway, like I said, something to think about of what it is, not to let it go. All right.
We do have as soon as we found the news, the flag at this building and at the Brick Town Hall were lowered to half-staff, and I think they should stay there through his funeral service.
Absolutely.
Is that something that we could do at the Tibbetts Memorial Park too, or is that a different?
Next to it is next to it is the fireman's. Next to it is the fireman's. Yeah.
No, I meant the flag at Tibbetts Memorial.
Oh,
That's why I was asking if it was a different thing. I noticed that one was still at full. I noticed that one was still at full.
Can you just vote to approve that date? You didn't do that, right? That one that's on there?
There's nothing on new business.
No, I had with Casey's name.
Yeah, that's the one
Oh,
I handed
okay.
you, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. No, it's not you. Just the one that code office gave me earlier, I just want to make sure they vote on.
Make a motion to,
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the municipal release deed, or sign the municipal release deed.
I'll second that.
that was the second read? Okay, all in favor? Okay, I think that's being passed down now, so
And with that, I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll also second that.
all in favor? Never anyone not in favor.